welcome to Tuesday evening 10-minute tutorial. So I'm Betsy. For those of you who have not met me yet, welcome to our group. I'm going to just pop on here and do a really quick tutorial. And tonight it's going to be chocolate, dark chocolate salted caramels. Before we get started, if you are watching live, go ahead and say hello. If you're watching this through replay, type replay for me, just so I can, so that I'll know who was on here and I can say hello to you later. Also, I'm using StreamYard, which is a streaming software that links up to our Facebook group. And in order for me to see your name on the comments, you'll need to grant permission for StreamYard. You'll need to grant permission, and there's a link at the beginning of this video. So you may have to, I don't think you have to go out of the video, but you may need to go back and click on that link. It's just a quick, just a little, it'll take you to another page. It's a quick check, confirm or check or something that allows your name to be shown. Otherwise, it just says Facebook user. So right now, I have a Facebook user on here and it says, "Hi, Betsy," which is great. That's fine. Anyway, let's go ahead and get started. So let me move my phone over here. So how many Aldi nerdies do I have in this group? I'm not calling you a nerd, but I am part of another Facebook group that's a community called the Aldi Nerd Community. And the other day I was in the group and somebody posted about them having some chocolates, and someone mentioned that one of those were the dark chocolate sea salt caramels, which are one of my favorites. This is my birthday month, and May is the best month ever. If you don't know that already, that's my opinion, but that's what I think. And so what I wanted to do was to make some dark chocolate sea salt caramels, some fake ones, to put in, scooch this way, one of my gumball machines. I don't know if I'm going to use the pink one or the mint green one, but that was what my inspiration was through Aldi's. Here, I've got to show you. So this is what they look like. If you do go shopping at Aldi's, grab these. They're delicious. But they were my inspiration for doing the coming up with an idea to create the sea salt caramels. I'm planning on putting them in one of my gumball machines, but I also purchased some of these wrappers at Hobby Lobby. It's in their baking section, the Sunny Side Up Bakery, and they're candy cups, and I'll show you those too, but they're little wrappers. So what I'm going to show you is how I did the caramels, and then give you two options. So you can either do them exactly the way I did, or you can kind of do a shortcut, and I'll talk about that in a minute. So here's, one is drying, and here's what let me lean in and see if you can see that. Here's what the finished one will look like. So I'm going to set that back down. So what I did is I used acrylic ice cubes, and so what I do is what I wanted this side's a little bit more concave on top, and I wanted that to be my bottom. So I'm going to turn it upside down. I'm using Anita's moccasin paint, and I'm using one of the foam brushes. I purchased this at the Dollar Tree, and it came in a package. I can't remember how many were in there, but really inexpensive. And the reason I'm using a foam brush instead of a paintbrush is I don't want all the streaks on the bottom of it. So let's get started. I'm just going to squeeze some out here. And what I did is I painted the bottom of it. So do that. And then I didn't want to paint the entire thing, so I just went up the sides just a tiny bit. And the reason for this is I'm leaving my caramels on the bottom. I'm not putting the dark chocolate. I'm going to leave it open so that when I do put it in the gumball machine and they're kind of spilled in there, set that down. When they're spilled in there, it's like you'll be able to see touches of the bottom, so that it kind of, for me, it'll look more realistic. Okay, so set that down. And then the next step I did is I used Mod Podge in satin, and used another foam brush. And then the reason that I used the Mod Podge is because if you don't seal the paint, it'll chip off. Like, it just won't stay permanently. So this just helps seal it. Again, I used a foam brush because I don't want the paint mark, the brush strokes. Because I've tried it both ways, and the other way with the paintbrush left the strokes. I didn't want that. So anyway, so I'm just sealing the bottom of this one. Get it nice and covered. And then, there we go. And then I'm going to set that one there to dry. Through the magic of television, which is really not television, I have some ready. So let me set that aside. So this is what it looks like after you've painted it and you've used the Mod Podge and the satin and just cover it up, or it just coats it. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to turn it upside down. I'm going to move this one that's completed. And the next step I did was I mixed up the chocolate, which was chocolate sprinkles. I'm using Apple Barrel in the color chocolate sprinkles. And so I'm using that, plus I made a mixture, plus the Mod Podge, only this time in gloss, because I want a little bit more glossy so it looks more chocolatey, like more realistic, like chocolatey. And I don't have the caulk here, but I also used white caulk, and I made a mixture of it. I have it mixed up in this cup. Let me undo this for there. And then what I did is I used a spoon in order to coat mine. It's really thick. I'll kind of show you if you can see it. Okay, so this one is drying, so I'm going to go ahead and do this one. So what I did is I just took, let me stir it again. I just took the spoon and just drizzled it on top. And then it's going to drip down the sides, which I do want it to do. But I'm also going to use the spoon, and I'm going to make sure the sides are covered. I don't want it to look perfect because real chocolates don't. I want it to look more realistic. So let me scooch that down there. And then make sure this side's coated. I think I got enough, so I don't need to add more. Okay. And then this side looks coated too, so that looks good. All right, so then what I did is I do want it to have a little bit of a drip. Here, I'll open this package up so I can show you. So I want it to have a little bit of a drip so it looks realistic. So this is the real caramel, and you can kind of see where it actually has real drips on the sides here. It's not perfect. So that was my goal, was to try to make it have those drips. But I don't want to leave it sitting here. I'm going to use 2 popsicle sticks, and I'm going to move it because I don't want it to dry in that spot, because I feel like it'll be too many drips. So I'm just going to take it and I'm gently going to move it over here. And then let me switch that over there. I want my cup back. I don't want to waste this extra chocolate. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to scrape it back up and put it back in my cup, because I'm going to make several of these. Like I said, I want to put it in the gumbo machine, so I need several of them. So put that back in there. Okay, and then the next thing I did is, I've got 2 parts here, is I have, I wanted it to look like salt on the top, so I'm using white sand. And I store all mine in mason jars because it's just really easy for me, and it's handy storage containers for me. It's just really handy. So what I did is I just want a pinch. You don't want a lot, because real salted caramels really just have a pinch on them. So I'm just going to drop a little pinch there, have a little extra. And I always like a little bit of glitter on everything, or sparkle, I should say. So I also have really big glitter, and so same thing. I don't want a lot, but I just want a little tiny bit, just to give it that extra little sheen. There you go. Okay, put that aside. And so now once these dry, they'll be done for me, and I'll be able to put them in my gumball machine, and then they'll just sit in there, however they fall, just like these are. So they'll sit in there, just kind of haphazardly, but I think it'll give it a realistic look. Or the other option you can do is I have, as I mentioned earlier, I have these little candy cups. So this one's dry. So what I also can do, or you can do, is put the little chocolate in the wrapper, and then now it looks like the candies that you get like in the mostly reminds me of Valentine's, but you get them all year round. The candies in the boxes where it has all the different shaped candies, or I think you can just buy, I'm sure you can, just the salted chocolates. Anyway, so you can also put it like this, which works great if you wanted to use it like on a tiered tray or a plate or any kind of display where you're doing a candy theme. So anyway, so that's my tutorial for the dark chocolate. So the second part that I wanted to mention to you was, if you want to put them just in these wrappers, then I would skip the step of painting them the caramel color. And that way, instead of having the caramel on the bottom, I'd leave it the clear acrylic ice cube. And then I would use hot glue, and then I would just glue it to the wrapper. And then that way, you can tell that it's, the intention is there, that it would be a salted chocolate caramel. But it's just, another option that you can use. So there you go. So I think that's it. I'm not sure if I went over or under my 10 minutes, but I just wanted to hop on here really quick and do like a really quick tutorial for you. And if you decide to do this yourself, then hop back in the group and share with me how yours turned out and how you used them. So, all right, well, I'm gonna hop off of here. It's getting late, and I will see you in the group. Thanks. Bye, everyone.